Encyclopedia Brown gets his man as a mystery book, but it sounds like a romance book. Now I want to see a story about grown-up encyclopedia who goes speed dating. He finds inconsistencies in every woman's story and goes home without any girlfriends.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
In the case of the marble shooter, Algernon Kehoe claims that Bugs Meany stole his marbles. Amusingly, Bugs got away with it by closing his eyes and saying, "I don't see anyone." That is the kind of silly technicality that Encyclopedia Brown respects. When Encyclopedia accuses him of robbing Al, Bugs says he's never met Algernon before in his life. He's lying! How do we know? Bugs must have met him before, because he knows Al is short for Algernon. True, but it doesn't prove he stole the marbles, it just proves they know each other. Bugs has had enough of Encyclopedia Brown, so Bugs decides to open his own detective agency. Yeah. His first case is finding a missing violin. He says he found it because of a squirrel. The squirrel ran halfway up a tree, then took some steps backwards and ran away. Bugs thought this was funny behavior, so he checked the tree and found the violin on the top branches. Encyclopedia calls Bugs a liar because squirrels can't walk backwards. They always turn around to go down a tree. Sorry, Encyclopedia, but you're wrong on this one. Squirrels can walk backwards. True, they almost never do it while climbing trees, because their hind legs are stronger than their forelegs, so that's the legs they use to grip the tree by. But still, it's possible. So, 0 points to Encyclopedia. In the case of the underwater car, Encyclopedia is camping with some buddies. He goes for a walk at 2 a.m, just in time to see somebody commit insurance fraud. Mr. Starr's car crashes through a highway railing. It goes into the ocean. The car is wrecked, including the 4 worn-out tires. Amazingly, the police don't believe Encyclopedia's eyewitness testimony. And they don't want to pull the car out of the ocean to prove it either. So, how can Encyclopedia show Starr wrecked his new car on purpose? Easy. He sends scuba divers. He has scuba divers? What? Easy. He sends scuba divers to retrieve the tires. Nobody puts old tires on a new car, not unless you're planning to wreck it. And in fact, the solution says Starr switched out the tires just so he could sell the new ones. Is it just me, or is that incredibly suspicious? A guy gets into a car crash, and he just happens to sell 4 new unused tires the next day? It's like he's trying to incriminate himself. Fabius was trying to take pictures of a spider in the doorway of an old house when a ghost scared him away and stole his camera. The culprit is one of Bugs' tigers. The culprit claims that he saw Fabius run out the front door of the house, and he saw the real culprit run away through the back door of the house. Encyclopedia says, "You're lying! Because there's a spider web on the back door. If somebody ran through the back door yesterday, the web would have been destroyed." I understand Encyclopedia's argument, but there are 2 problems with it. Number 1, the culprit could have jumped over the spider web. I know I would have tried jumping over a spider web instead of running right through it. That would be disgusting, running through spider webs. Ugh. Number 2, this all happened yesterday. The spider could easily have rebuilt its web overnight, especially if only part of the web got destroyed. I know, I'm nitpicking here, but the series has taught me to nitpick at small details. A famous Arctic explorer died last month, right after somebody stole $50,000 from his safe. The police assume the money is still hidden somewhere inside the house, because there are guards posted at every exit. It's not really explained why a dying man has such heavy security. Anyway, all of the explorer's belongings are being sold at an auction today. This includes a piano, paintings, penguins, a walrus, and a polar bear. Encyclopedia concludes the money is hidden in the penguins, because penguins are from the South Pole and the victim visited the North Pole. Good contradiction, but I'm a little hung up on the fact that the culprit entered the house with 8 life-size penguins. We're told this was seen as normal because lots of people brought the victim presents. I've never heard of giving a dying man stuffed animals myself. But since we've established the fact that many people brought the victim presents, this immediately makes the penguins less suspicious. The victim had lots of items which were gifts! So someone screwed up and got him a gift that doesn't 100% match his interests. So what? That's totally understandable. And besides, if I had 8 stuffed penguins lying around, I would totally give them to the guy with an Arctic animal collection. Who cares if they don't fit perfectly? The case of the coffee smoker is a weird one. The victim likes to smoke coffee grounds from a pipe, which makes him sick and dizzy. Now he's being blackmailed over his smoking habit by Harry Hallahan. Harry smokes real cigarettes, and he likes to harass our victim by lighting matches with his body. That is just the premise for this mystery. Like I said, it's weird. They confront Harry on a rainy day. Harry says he was outside working on fishing nets. He's about to light a match on the victim's body when Sally tells him to stop, so he lights a match with the bottom of his foot instead. The mystery solution is that it's rainy, so his shoes should be wet. That should make it impossible for him to light a match on his shoes. And obviously, it's impossible for him to have changed his shoes in the past 10 minutes. A boy named Neville is mowing the front lawn at the Upjohn mansion. Maribel Upjohn, the daughter of the household, is in the backyard watering. Her parents told her to water for 2 hours straight, so either this is a huge lawn or they're trying to make a swimming pool. A delivery person shows up and parks on the hose for 5 minutes. 10 minutes later, Mrs. Upjohn says her valuable Chinese vase was destroyed. She accuses Neville of breaking it, even though there are 3 witnesses who can attest that he was mowing the entire time. The mystery solution is that Maribel was only pretending to water the backyard. If she was really watering, she would have noticed the water went off when the car blocked the hose. And wow, how lazy is Maribel if she thinks watering grass is exhausting? The next case is a pie-eating contest. Last year's contest was an all-you-can-eat challenge. This year, Mrs. Thompson has changed the rules in order to favor her twin sons. Her sons are track stars, so she added a half-mile run to the competition. She also volunteered to make the pies so she could give her sons their favorites. This lady is such a cheater. The competition is a close one, but the twin gets a sudden burst of speed during the running portion in order to win. He smiles, showing off his beautiful white teeth. Encyclopedia Brown immediately accuses him of cheating. If he just ate 2 blueberry pies, his teeth and mouth should be messy. Clearly, they did a twin switch, and I'm willing to bet their mother was in on the plot. Why did she put so much effort into sabotaging a pie-eating contest at the town fair? Is the prize that lucrative? Also, the case gives us a horrifying piece of cover art. Ugh. In Murder Man, Encyclopedia Brown writes a murder play. In the play, Fraser puts on gloves, kills someone, and takes their money. He calls the police, then runs to his apartment. He hides the money. He throws the gun and gloves out the window. The detective fingerprints the victim's apartment and photographs everything. What was the culprit's mistake? The culprit didn't leave any fingerprints on the phone because he was wearing gloves when he made the phone call. There would be no reason for him to wear gloves unless he was trying to hide his fingerprints. In our final story, with a weird premise, Duffy Gomez, the famous Mexican baseball player, has just been arrested. See, 2 people robbed a bank and stole 1,000,000 pesos in 1 peso bills. Yes, the bank had 1,000,000 single peso bills just lying around, and the robbers were able to easily move all of the money into a getaway car. Keep in mind, this would take up more space than 5,000 Encyclopedia Brown books. Someone claims they heard Duffy fight with the bank robber over the money. Specifically, Duffy said, "This afternoon, I counted my share of the money again. It's 1,000 short." Encyclopedia says that's a lie. It takes about 5 days to count to 500,000. There's no way somebody can count 500,000 bills in an afternoon. I'm giving the solution half a point because the key word in the sentence is, I counted the money again, meaning he's counted the money before. Presumably, he sorted it into piles of 1,000 each, making it totally possible to recount it more quickly. And that's the final case. I give Encyclopedia Brown Gets His Man a 7 out of 10.